All right. Gonna connect it up here. Welcome back, everybody. Sunday, January 20th, 2019. Just waiting to connect to the server here and get it going. So I know I'm a minute late. Oh my goodness, 1 minute. But what's up, guys? Thank you for taking the time. Obviously, spoiler warning if you're watching this on the replay. If you're watching it live, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it for taking the time this Sunday and every Sunday. We're going to be doing, different live streams every Sunday for a while until we go on the cruise in February. So I'm excited to see what you guys have for questions. It's not the biggest Walking Dead news time right now, even though it's 3 weeks away. We got 3 weeks until The Walking Dead returns, and I know everybody's excited. Thank you guys for joining me today and really joining me and being a big part of the channel as always. You guys really make the channel go and grow. I want to talk about this guy right here for a little bit. If you got Netflix, you got Jon Bernthal, who played Shane on The Walking Dead. The Punisher Season 2 is on Netflix. My wife and I, we watched the first 2 episodes last night, and it's pretty good. It already jumps off the gate right away. Pretty cool stuff. Thank you, Nick, for loving the channel and all you guys for being here. But if you like The Punisher, if you like the first season, you'll know what's going on a little bit. You got to like Jon Bernthal. Some people like him. Some people hate him. Some people love him. I definitely like him. This beanie right here, it's pretty awesome. My wife and I, we have matching beanies. I know, you think it's cheesy maybe. But ultimately, we got a picture with Jon Bernthal last year on the Walker Stalker cruise. He loved the beanie. He actually said, I like that hat, to either me or my wife. We were standing right next to each other. I don't know which one it was. I have a video of that actually I shared. And Walker Stalker, we got a big stuff for next... next month for the Walker Stalker cruise, the final Walker Stalker cruise, and it's pretty cool for it. Sorry, we got a spammer here that kind of my boy Mark was definitely saying they got to look out for the moron channel that likes to put people saying bad stuff about me and my PT peeps, which is definitely terrible. There's no need for that. There's no need for people to go on there and be disrespectful for that. I got zero tolerance for that. I'm shutting that down for sure, and it's just kind of crazy. So thank you, Bumblebee Brown. I like the beanie as well. And I'm excited for The Walking Dead return in 3 weeks. It'll be here before you know it. I'm excited. You're excited. We're all excited. And we don't have the exact spoilers yet for it, even though some screeners went around for the first episode and the second episode, 909 and 910. Episode 909 will be titled Adaptation. There's a whole synopsis about it. I have it on the latest video, one of my latest videos about it. Also, the word is that 910 will be titled Omega. So we have Adaptation and Omega, and then we just don't know the rest of them there because some screeners went around. So the information travels around. Once The Walking Dead goes out and around for people to review and probably just hit the town for, I guess, people to post on, I don't know if it's comicbook.com or whoever they get the screeners, then the information comes out and people talk about it, review it, talk about it on Forbes or I guess. But The Walking Dead will be back. Fear the Walking Dead is going around filming still. They're still going strong with that. The big news about Austin Emilio filming, it's pretty cool. And I'm excited to see how stuff connects, but I just don't know if it's going to be, that great of a crossover, well, a second crossover, the Morgan crossover. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you think it was interesting or not? But before you know it, Alpha and Beta will be here. I don't know when we see Alpha exactly. There's been some rumors that it happens right away. If we're going to see Alpha first, then Beta, Lydia probably before all of them, I would assume, because we got to meet Lydia, and there has to be a reason for Alpha to meet the group, right? And Alpha is somebody that is a character that is interesting from the comics. I hope she's good in the comics, don't get me wrong, but I hope she's even better on the show because I think the actress Samantha Morton can do a great job of that character. Beta is Ryan Hurst, who I believe is 6'4", I believe, if I'm thinking off the top of my head. He's not the tallest guy. Alpha is a little tiny nothing. I think she's 5'1", 5'3" at the most, I think. But 5'3" and 6'4" is a good height difference. And it's supposed to be a height difference of Beta is supposed to be really tall and Alpha is supposed to be really small. and Alpha is the leader. Kind of like Yoda, who's one of the strongest Jedi ever, who's this little guy, which I love about that. Kind of the same thing. Alpha is the leader of the Whispers. She's not big in presence, but she carries a big stick and she kind of runs the show, that's for sure. You know, Beta is actually the tall guy, second in command. He was a former basketball player in the NBA, I'm guessing, and we get a little bit of his backstory in the comics. But the comic and the show are going to be different. We're taking some big tangents, and we already have this season. I don't know any news about the movies coming up, but I'm excited to find out more and more information. I know so many movies and shows are filming in Georgia right now. For those who like Bad Boys, Bad Boys 2, and soon to be Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys for Life, it takes place in Miami, but Will Smith was seen in Georgia, in Atlanta, filming. So that's kind of interesting. Got some movie magic for sure. But I'm excited to see what goes down for this year of entertainment. What are you excited for? I'm excited for the Walker Stalker Cruise, Walking Dead to come back, Captain Marvel, Game of Thrones, Avengers Endgame, Lion King. You know, I'm just Toy Story 4, obviously Star Wars in December. You know, just so many things are later this year that I'm like, wow, pretty awesome stuff. Then The Walking Dead's back in October. Season 10 is greenlit. Announced season 10. We're going to get season 10 of The Walking Dead. And remember when Shazam, that looks pretty cool. You know that Jerry Anderson, Cooper's going to be in Shazam, which he talked a little bit about on there too. So, Julia, I have not seen Littlefinger's new show. I have not seen that. I have not seen a lot of TV. I actually watched The Passage on Monday. That was Chris talked about it in the live stream last Sunday. And I like Mark Paul Gosselaar, who was Zach Morris on Saved by the Bell, and a couple other things, obviously. But I'm excited for that show because it's kind of cool. It's filmed in Georgia, even though it takes place all over the place. And then I watch The Gifted, who's on Tuesdays, filmed in Georgia. And then there's not really that much other stuff I'm really watching. But The Punisher, started watching that. Definitely, if you got Netflix, I would check it out. I'm excited for it, too. So, but the latest news about the episode guide and a lot of stuff from the Spoiling Dead fans. There's not much going around for the spoilers, but we did talk about the episode guide, potentially who was confirmed to be filming episode 909 to episode 916, who was rumored, just some of the speculation on there too. And in that episode guide video, we talk about one of the episodes. If it's episode 912, I'm not sure exactly the episode offhand, but there is a rumor that we see one of the Oceanside girls, Oceanside Kathy. And then when I put that in the video, a lot of people are saying she died in episode 905. So did she die? Did she not die? I guess I got to go back and watch it. Is she one of the casualties? Because I remember there's a guy on the horse, or a woman on the horse, and then one of the Kingdomers, and then I believe one other person. It could be Kathy from Oceanside, but I just don't know. And it's kind of interesting that we don't see Oceanside Cindy. Where did that character go all of a sudden? We saw her in the first half. Is that character totally gone? Are we going to see that? Tudor, Q&A, the Hilltop trade to happen in episode 10, right? I don't know offhand if that's exactly how it goes down, but I think so. I think that's when you see Alpha come to Hilltop to get Lydia back. And I would assume that you see either Alpha kidnap or trap or abduct or whatever you want to say Alden and Luke in 910 or 909, and then she goes to Hilltop because she knows that's where the scout whispers told her that Lydia went, because people are going to follow her, and I'm excited to see how it goes down for sure. So, Vox Guitars Rock. I want to know what's up with Georgie. We all do. I don't know and unfortunately I don't have anything to report about Georgie because we don't know. I don't know of any word that Georgie was seen. I think Georgie was really introduced to build for the future, a key to a future, and to take Maggie away. They probably had talks that Maggie's not going to be filming that much this season. I think that that's kind of what they brought the character in for, and it's kind of like, there she goes. Georgie, I don't think we're going to see this season. We're not going to see Maggie this season, and we're not going to see that. Nick Jones, I believe the Henry spoiler is true. I believe it is. I don't know any other words to say it isn't. And if you watch the episode guide, hopefully you have seen it, because I want to see how it goes down for episode the flashback, and also the big thing for the episode guide is episode 915. If you see a lot of people were filming in that episode, and I talk about it in that video, that's a big telling point that episode 915 we'll get to see who filmed for the Pike lineup. And the fact that a lot of people were filmed at Tyler Perry Studios, where the fair is going to take place, there's a lot of potential victims there. I talk about it in the video if you want to definitely check that out too. So, Boyd, do you think an Oceanside person will have their head on a pike? I think they would have to be reintroduced again, because we haven't seen them since episode 905. Where have they been in the 6 years? We haven't seen them at Hilltop. We haven't seen them at Kingdom. I haven't seen them, at least, or they haven't been really mentioned besides, Gage and Addie. And they talk about Oceanside briefly, and they say, have you been there? Is it really all women? And that's all they said. I mean, that's kind of what it was. Brian Barbie, I'm not going to give you all of my predictions. I said it in a video, but talk about it here. Nabila, most likely. Tammy Rose, probably Luke, probably some smaller characters, but I don't know who the big character is that's going to be there. So, how we doing? Sheila, how we doing? Hey, how are you? So, Brian, the Pike Predictions, I have a whole video on that, but I don't know anything more specifically. But I would think Nabila and other people from the Kingdom, maybe some of the Highwaymen, maybe that's why they're introduced. Why would you bring them around if, people are thinking that they're connected to the Whisperers? So, I don't know. More and more, because I was just I just finished editing chapter 7 of my book series, and I was thinking about my writing and how the writers probably think potentially on the show, because when we see a character like Denise or Olivia or them or that, or you see a little bit more of this character more and more and more, then they get killed off. And I can see why the writers do that, because they want it to make impactful. They want it to be like, wow, I started to like this character, and then they get killed off. But it's also frustrating for the viewer. I can see both sides of it, but it's kind of interesting for sure. So, Janet, Q&A, Brian, what are your thoughts on Carl being killed only for Henry to most likely be killed as well? Yeah, exactly, Janet. A lot of people hate that, because if Henry was supposed to replace Carl, you would think the future of that storyline with Lydia is Henry. And then they're like, boo, nope, gone. I think they don't want to start paying these actors when they start making big money, because I don't know if Matt Lintz is 17, 18 or not, and you get some pay raise or something. I don't know how it works out with child actors, but I can kind of see a point. It's kind of funny that Chandler Riggs was killed off around his 18th birthday, 17th birthday. Stopped filming around there too, right? Is it interesting why they killed it off? Because to me, the storyline of like, we got to save Negan for Coral. We got to do this for Coral. We got to remember Coral. We got to do this. And then Andrew Lincoln's off the show, and this happened and that. And you're like, whoa, what happened here? I don't really buy into that story. It's just kind of cheesy, because if you lost Rick, right, then you think Carl's going to take his place. And you're like, that's the future of the show, right? It just makes sense. So I'm like, oh, man. But where was that? I wanted to give a shout out to someone who just joined. I saw that they were a subscriber. Where we at? Just try to give you here. Sorry. I know, great live stream. But for the person who said they just subscribed, they've been watching this channel for a year, thank you for subscribing. It means a lot to me. Jason, there you are. I just subscribed, been watching this channel for a year, thought I was a subscriber. Well, thank you for checking in that, Jason. And it might seem like a little thing to hit that subscribe button, but it makes the providers and the channel creators a lot too. Like Mrs. Nina Ray, thank you for the super chat. Love your channel. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. And I was going to talk about it in another video, but I'll talk about it now too. Like, I have a Patreon page, super chats, live streams, all the stuff coming in, liking videos, sharing videos, subscribing to the channel. It's all a way to support me and us and every person involved with the channel. It's not just me, it's my wife. It's just everything that comes into my mind. It's just everything coming together too. So it makes a lot to keep the channel going and growing. And thank you, Mrs. Nina Ray, for the super chat. Thank you very much. It goes a long way on there too. And even a simple little donation, if enough people do it, I mean, that goes a long way. I got, just hit 75,500 and some subscribers. And if everybody did that, that'd be pretty cool. So Hussein wants a shout out. Shout out. Shout it out. Shout it out. Thank you. 3 up, 3 down, 1. But AJ Buster, Q&A. What do you think the girl with the message from Rick's brother from Spain will show up? Nah, I don't think the girl. I don't think that really happens. I don't know if it makes that much sense to bring that character over from that small little one issue, the comic for Rick's brother. Maybe they did that for a future and to see if people liked it. Maybe it connects the dots on the show and the movies. I don't know. That's kind of interesting because Gimple and the writers and Kirkman can do whatever they want. And I think their movies are going to be kind of some big steps. It would be logical that the movies are the Commonwealth. But is that too easy? I kind of think Gimple's like, I can write it all, baby. Let me do it. I can do it all. You know, I just think he has that niche and almost the ego about him to like, I can write these movies and I'm going to redeem myself. Hopefully, hopefully that's his thought. I don't know what it is. So yeah, Julia, it's a small one issue of the Walking Dead comic. It's in Europe that you kind of feel that the guy, it's not exactly that it's Rick's brother, but you kind of get the feel that it is. It's spelled out somewhat that the guy he's got a brother in the States on there too. So. Thank you, Sheila. Hey, buddy, you're amazing. You think Ezekiel will die? You're amazing too, Sheila. Great picture of Austin Emilio there and yourself at Walker Stalker Con. Very cool. I don't think he's going to die. I think that's too obvious of the Ezekiel death from the comics. And in that episode guide, he was kind of seen, him and Ezekiel and Jerry were seen filming in episode 916. So if they were filming episode 916, I would assume they're going to live because if the Pike lineup is set, they're going to be molded heads on the Pikes. So maybe Jerry and Ezekiel come across the heads and he survives. So I don't know if they want to do the the Rosita death because Ezekiel and Rosita were the big deaths of the show. And now that we lost Rick on the show, Maggie's going to be in and out maybe for a long time. Maybe she has a minimal part in season 10 or maybe it's a big part or something. But we lost her. We lost Jesus. We lost Carl. We lost Sasha. We lost Abraham. We lost a lot of people since season 7. So could that happen that we keep Ezekiel alive? And I think we do personally, especially what's been going around too. So when do they start shooting the first movie, Brad B? I don't know exactly the exact start date. I would assume probably when the weather gets better in Georgia because they start filming end of April, early May, and go all the way to November for The Walking Dead. So I would assume along those months as well. Maybe April, but there's been no word of when they're going to start. But it is this year, I believe. I think they have to write the scripts still or finalize those too. So Octavius, what date is the show airs again? It starts in 3 weeks from today. So February 10th is when it comes back. Jeffrey Morrow, Q&A. Will Heath show up in the Commonwealth storyline? I hope so, because the word is that Heath got traded by Jadis to the helicopter people. But could Heath escape? Did Heath come back? Did Heath escape and come back, or is he killed off? Will he be in the Rick movies? Will he be a Whisper? We just don't know. There's been no talk and finalization of where Corey Hawkins has been, if he's filmed or not, if he's got other projects. You know, he was filming that 24 Legacy show that bombed. He was in a couple other movies that weren't really the greatest. So come on back to The Walking Dead, Heath. We'll take you. Kevin B. Saunders. Why does everyone love Negan? He killed a young man in front of his pregnant wife without mercy or not remorse. Well, Kevin, I can't speak for other people. I don't love Negan, so I can't speak for other people either. But I know that a lot of women, maybe some men too, I don't know, they think Negan is sexy. He was powerful. People like people in power. He's kind of funny. He does have ethics and morals a little bit. He just didn't kill Abraham and Glenn for no reason. He could have killed everybody, and frankly, he probably should have killed everybody, but his idea was, you're going to work for me. How can you do that if you're dead? I'm not growing a garden. But ultimately, Negan is a smart guy. I think that Negan can be, you know, somewhat redeemed, and he needs to do something epic and big, and possibly saving Daryl Dixon could be that start of his comeback story. Jason Scott. Are the Highwaymen bad, I think he said? I would assume so. I don't think they're good. I just think they're brought back by Ezekiel and the Kingdomers. So I don't think that there's not much to say about the Highwaymen exactly, specifically, but I don't think they're good. I wouldn't see that too, sure. So let's see what you got here. AJ Buster, just a curiosity because he has to be abroad in the upcoming movies. He doesn't have to be abroad. He can be, but again, there's been information that's going all over the place. Gimple said this. Kirkman said that. He's going to go to Europe. They're going to build the world as a whole. So they're trying to go World War Z on here. If they go too big with these movies, doesn't make sense. I mean, Rick Grimes and stuff's cool, but I don't care what Rick's doing with other people. I want Rick with Daryl, Carol, Michonne, Judith. And if they're not going to be reunited, these movies are going to be stupid, in my opinion. But, you know, Janet Person, Q&A Brian, I'm wondering if Enid will die. It would be a good motivation for Maggie to return. Thoughts? I think Maggie's going to come back one way or another. I don't think she's going to turn her back on Hilltop 100%. I don't think Enid dies. I would think more like Alden dies. So you couldn't have Enid and Alden die because they're a couple. You're going to have usually one person that die like that. But I don't know. Enid could die. I mean, we have two doctors now, Enid and Sadiq. And so who's going to go from that? Because we usually have one doctor on the show, right? You know, I don't know. Tyler Farmer, do you think Maggie has something to do with the Commonwealth? I don't know. That's the whole thing. I think, where is the new development, community, society, group, outpost, whatever Maggie is with Georgie and the twins? I would see Georgie could be the initial person for the Commonwealth. That'd be kind of cool. I would definitely want to have some story further the story in the comics, or add a little spice, a little extra, a little dab, a little thing going to, help the storyline from the comics, help the situation too. So I'm excited to see how it all comes together. I know Janet and a couple other people in here like the idea, and I really like the idea of having Walker Eric to see Walker Eric. That happened way back during the war 7.5 years ago. So is it logical to happen? Probably not, but he was left open-ended. Walker Eric should come back around for sure. So, Brady, have you seen Punisher Season 2? I talked about that at the end of the part of the video at the beginning. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I am enjoying it. John Bernthal is pretty great. I watched some reports about him. He's going to be in the next Sopranos movie, a prequel movie, and I'm excited for that. I love The Sopranos. I love the idea of John Bernthal joining the cast there. I think he can and should do a good job. And David Chase is going to be one of the writers and creators of it. So I think it could be great. Janet, Q&A, Brian, do you think they will use Dog to help save Daryl, Carol, and Michonne when they're trapped by the Whispers? I hope so. I just hope that Dog doesn't get sacrificed to save Daryl. Because I kind of see the show getting rid of Dog in a season, maybe the back half of season 2 for sure. I don't know if Dog's going to last, but I could see him going out that way. Maybe he finds Daryl and everybody and helps them, because they kind of hinted at the fact that Dog goes to the traps and bites the Walker's hands and feet and brings them back to the fire and shows Daryl. I kind of think that's what's going to happen when they're at the Whisperer camp, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. They did it for a reason. It could come back around. I don't know. I don't know. That's just my guess on there too. So, Boyd, are you expected for John Wick 3? Excited. John Wick 3 is one of those things that I like. John Wick, the first one. John Wick 2 was okay. It was kind of a, continuation of the story, obviously. But if John Wick 3 can continue in the kind of style of the first movie, it was pretty cool. I'm hoping John Wick can be a good movie for sure. So, Tudor, Walking Dead, why people would not like John? I don't know where that is. What do you mean, John? Which John? Do you need John from Fear the Walking Dead? Because I like John from Fear the Walking Dead. I think he's pretty good. Or do you mean John Bernthal? John Bernthal is a character or an actor that he's a little much for some people. Some people don't like him because of that. I like him because he's just like a regular dude, and I met him on the cruise, and he was awesome, and Met him at the airport, and he was awesome. You know, every time I met the guy and interacted with him, he was cool. I got nothing bad to say about him. Some people didn't like him at one of the conventions, so I understand that. If you had a bad experience with somebody, I mean, I understand. It's not everybody's going to be happy and go lucky all the time too, but maybe something was going down at the convention and something there too. They are human beings as well. Can you imagine PETA if dog dies? Well, it's a zombie apocalypse show. If PETA was mad, Shiva got killed, numerous horses got killed. It's a zombie show. It's going to happen in a zombie apocalypse. Animals would not last very long if they get swarmed by walkers, and it just would not be good. I would just think that would happen for sure. So, but I think that The Walking Dead is back. I know a lot of people that I talk to in my days as a physical therapist, and my patients and my staff and everybody I work with, they love The Walking Dead. And I'm excited that it's back. Some people just hate on the show, and they hate what people like. M. King, what's up, man? It's been a few weeks for sure. Where you been, M. King? Where you been at, man? But I was thinking about this too. Like, people don't like what other people like. They're skeptical. They're cynical. They just don't like what other people like just because that's who they are. Their personality is. The Walking Dead is not perfect by any means. The Walking Dead is a good escape survival show. I think it's a great thing for us to be bonding in a community feel for it. There's a lot of different reasons why people like the show, why people don't like the show. But if we're trying to justify a zombie apocalypse show, it can get a little ridiculous over the top. You got to, let things go. Unless some things are cheesy, which some are. And come on, you could do a better job with that. But overall, I think it's great. I think the content is great, except for certain things of season 7. The deer, deer. Bad CGI. Kawaii cute. Rosita could be pregnant this season. Could be. Maybe she's pregnant and then she gets killed off. I could see that happening too. That's what The Walking Dead could definitely do, but she could be. Nick Jones Brothers. Q&A, do you think Carl would have looked awesome in his New Beginning look from the comics? I would like to have seen Carl. And you know what they could have done? Chandler Riggs fans would have been like, oh my God, why did you do that? Ah! But you could have got rid of Chandler Riggs and kept Carl, because of the time jump, right? Carl was a kid, and then year and a half later, 6 years later, you could have had a whole new actor. Could have done it. Some people like Chandler Riggs. Some people love him. Some people think he sucks. Some people think he's a bad actor. I think he was all right. I think Chandler Riggs is a nice guy. Is he the best actor? No, but I think Chandler Riggs can be and should be and definitely should be a part of the show. But, it's just the way it is, for sure. Definitely Big Sexy. That's right. We all have our own opinions, and opinions are like assholes. You know what they say? Everyone's got one. But I like opinions and for people to discuss them in a cordial manner, too. Like The Walking Dead is right up there with things, too. Like some people are so adamant about it, where they hate the show, they love the show, they hate the character, they love the character, like this and that. Like, you would not want to have Negan lovers versus Negan haters. Daryl lovers versus Daryl haters. You would not want to have those people in the same building, same, space, because it would get crazy. Like, how could you like Negan? He killed Glenn. No, the writers killed Glenn. Like people get crazy over it. And I can see both sides, but at the end of the day, there's no reason to be disrespectful and rude like some people are. Some people are just like, no way, you're wrong. There's no way about it. I'm right, you're wrong. That's how it goes. That's how it is. Well, then you need to just go into your own world, because that's not the way I operate or anybody who has a brain in their head operate, because it's just kind of crazy too. So it's just not nice to be disrespectful to people for no reason. And some people are. But I made a video about a funny video about how people love The Walking Dead and the different types of fans, and people get so mad. They're like, that wasn't funny. That was it. And some people loved it and some people hated it. And some people definitely let me know that they did not think it was funny. But I thought it was funny, because those are the type of fans that I've been seeing. I've been doing this in 9 days. I would have had this channel for 4 years. So I've seen a lot of people on YouTube talking about The Walking Dead and what they like, what they don't, And it's just a funny thing. And that's all it's supposed to be. And some people get so mad about it too. And we're just trying to have some fun here, you know? This is an entertainment channel. Are you not entertained? But, you know, Tommy, how do you think The Walking Dead will end? I think it could end with Rick returning on a helicopter and taking everyone to safety. But I think I don't think it's going to be a nice, happy ending. And every time I say that, I think of the bad joke with, you know, but I don't think it's going to be a nice, great ending where they just survive and they go their way. And because Robert Kirkman wants The Walking Dead and his comic and the show to be like after that. What happens after the people? What happens after they get to the island and they do this and they do that? What happens then? And that's what I like about it. That's what my book series is all about too. So, Janet Person. Q&A, Brian. Aaron told Daryl he would be a good father. Do you think this might be foreshadowing of Daryl helping to save a child, raising a child? Maybe Gracie or the baby abandoned by the Whisperer. Sorry, I can't talk. I don't know. It could be Lydia. It could be Henry. It could be the baby that the Whisperer has abandoned that Connie rescues, supposedly, allegedly. Could be. I see Daryl changing and evolving, just like Carol, just like Daryl, just like all these characters have changed over time. Some more than others, you know. But I see him caring more about that, too. I think that's what it was kind of foreshadowing. That he's going to come back around at some point. He's going to be a good father. And it doesn't have to be raising a child, a baby. It can be to Henry, to Lydia. Try and help out there, too. But Daryl's also supposed to be dark, too. It's supposed to be dark Daryl, crazy Daryl, in a dark place. Probably after, you know, some people die or some big events happen, or he's just going to be wanting revenge against the Whisperers. And I just hope that they don't pull a BS thing, that Daryl has the chance to kill Beta and he doesn't do it because Beta needs to stay alive, like Negan kind of thing, where Rick has him in his sights and he hits nothing but, you know, he grazes his leg. And you're like, that's total crap, because that would not happen. And that's one of the things that you're like, that's just BS, right? So, Brady Burton, do you think Sherry will be in fear with Dwight? I hope so. I hope Sherry comes back around, because that's kind of a loose end. You know what I say about loose ends for sure. I'm not sure if they're going to bring the character around or what they're going to do, but the characters, the community, we know what we want. We know what we want to have. We want to have things make sense. We want to have characters be reunited, to be apart, to be reunited again. And we don't want anything like the Morales thing. Morales is coming back. It's Morales. Morales is coming back. I remember all the people that were like, they're skipping the Whisperers. They're going right to the Commonwealth. Where are all those people now, right? Not talking anything. How about that one video that was like, the Whisperers kill Rick? And that didn't happen, even though I think that would have been a better introduction to do that. Or not kill Rick, but stab Rick, and then Beta throws him in the water, or something happens, and then he goes away, and then he goes in the helicopter. You know, that'd be pretty awesome, for sure. But it was just kind of funny, different discussions and theories. It was kind of cool, and some of it was over the top. Some of it was definitely stuff to draw you in. Some people were way off with their theories, and that's kind of cool, because if they're just theories, that's cool. But if someone's trying to go prove it as fact, and it's a theory, then we got to kind of get it under control. But so I watched a movie on Friday from Redbox. I had a free rental, and I watched Hotel Artemis. And it's an okay movie. It's definitely a movie that's got some good cast in it, and it's a decent story. But it's one of those things that I'm like, man, this is a little crazy over here too. So I watched that on Friday. Then I watched a little bit of Punisher on Saturday, and then I watched Sebastian Maniscalco, his stand-up, Stay Hungry, that I actually saw live. It's on Netflix now, which is very entertaining. And I got a picture of the signs in Tampa that they took from me, and they put it on their thing. You know, pretty interesting. But, you know, it's all good. Nothing but support and love for Sebastian Maniscalco and different people. M. King, yes. Book 9 will be out in February. You missed it when I talked about it earlier. I talked about that I started editing it, and I finished chapter 6. I'm on chapter 7, or I finished chapter 7, and I'm on chapter 8. And there's 18 chapters in the book. It's 247 pages or something as we speak, and I'm excited for it. Book 9 will be out in February before the cruise. I'm trying to get that done for sure, because I'm excited to see what it was. So I want to see what you guys think of it. And it's a big changing book series. I'm excited to see how it goes down. A lot of it, I know, I'm sorry, but I learned from my mistakes prior that I was rushing the books out, and the editing was, one of those things, because I rushed it, and I got to take the time, because the books are going to last hopefully for a long time, and no one's going to care that I wrote so many books so quickly. They're just going to care about what the content is there for sure. So, Julia, don't worry. I will have a lot of good information and a lot of good stuff about the cruise for the cruise next month, which is a month from tomorrow too, for sure. So, Max TWD, the books are $10.99 on Amazon, the paperback versions, and then the Kindle versions are 99 cents for the first book, $2.99 and $3.99 for the books for sure. I'm excited for the cruise, and let me talk about the cruise a little bit. So last year, the cruise was out of New Orleans. The 2 previous years, they were out of Miami, and this last one is out of Tampa. So I'm excited because it's not that far from where I live, and it's the final cruise, and Norman Reedus canceled being on the cruise. It's kind of like, sucks for a lot of people, and some people are like, I want my money back, but Norman Reedus is not going to make or break the cruise for me. He's been on the past 3 cruises. I would have loved for Norman Reedus and Greg Nicotero to have been on the cruise, because they were on the first 2, and they were some of the biggest parts of the first cruise. And the cruises have changed, and they've gotten better in certain ways and worse in some ways as well, for sure. So, Chris, I got them all. Hope you don't kill me or my wife and dog. Now, Chris, you're still alive, and your wife and your dog are still alive. I'll give a little spoiler there. Don't worry. I don't know for how much longer, but you're alive in the book for sure. So some big things are happening for everybody that's in there for sure. So a lot of stuff. But Nick Jones, Q&A, do you think Charlie McDermott could have played an older Carl Grimes in the time skip? He looks like an older Chandler. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a lot of people that could have played an older Carl, and I think they could have done a great job with it, but they haven't ever recast the character on the show, right? Except for Judith, 100 times, because it was a baby and a baby and another baby and a baby and a baby and twins and a baby and a baby. But, Judith was the only character that they did that with. So, but the cruise, Norman Reedus canceled because he's got some other obligation. So Norman Reedus is out, but Melissa McBride, who plays Carol, Sarah Wayne Callies, who plays Lori, or played Lori, Judith Grimes, Kaylee Fleming, and Yvette Nicole Brown are going to be on the cruise now. So we lost 1 and gained 4 people, which is cool. I think we have 15 people on the cruise. That's a lot of people. A lot of people like Norman. A lot of people want pictures with Norman and all that stuff too. But Norman goes to a lot of conventions. You have all their time to go do it. You have Negan, and you have, Carol, and, a bunch of people on there too. Carl. And I was hoping that Lauren Cohan would be on there. I was really hoping that Rick was going to be on the cruise, but, he's not even doing the London convention or Walker Stalker Atlanta, so he's not doing the Walker Stalker cruise. But Carol will be there. I wish Glenn would have been there too, Stephen Yun, because I have not met Glenn. That's one of the biggest characters I have not met just yet. So I'm going to get a picture with Jerry and Ezekiel together in a duo photo, and I'm also getting a picture with Judith. I was excited for Judith because I'm excited for that character to be a character for the future of the show. I think Kaylee Fleming is adorable. I think she's a very good actress, and I'm excited to see what happens with that character. And she doesn't do a lot of conventions, as I've seen, and I don't think I'm going to be going to that many more conventions after this cruise, just because I want to do other things. We're going to go to Las Vegas and a couple other places. We're going to go to Oregon next year, go to Roloff Farms, and that's going to take the place of Walker Stalker Atlanta. We've done a lot of stuff in Atlanta, seen a lot, done a lot on there too, so I think that would be pretty cool. So Schuler Gibson, they'd host nothing in Alabama, actually, and there's no Comic-Con or convention or Walker Stalker that I've seen of. Maybe they have a smaller Comic-Con, but not a Walker Stalker convention in Alabama. The closest one that you should go to is in Atlanta. And if you live in Birmingham, Atlanta, Georgia is not that far of a convention, and it's a really great convention to go to if you love The Walking Dead and a lot of other things too. They have a lot of other. That's one of the biggest conventions besides Comic-Con, of course. Walker Stalker Atlanta, pretty cool too. Sure. Big Sexy. I hope Judith does. I hope they don't mess up Judith too, because I don't know how old Kaylee Fleming is, but Judith on the show is like 10, 11 years old. So that character should be around for a long time until the character turns 18, and then they're going to kill her off or something. Are they going to pull a Carl on Judith? I hope not, but I would think the show probably has season 10, 11, and 12, so we probably have 3 more seasons left of the show, I would think. Maybe they take some time off and do some movies or spin-offs, and then eventually come back to it. Because I don't think they're ever going to give up on The Walking Dead. It makes too much money, for sure. Janet, Q&A Brian, I just keep thinking they are going to shock the audience by killing someone we are not expecting. What do you think? Yeah, I think they're going to pull something. I think they're going to do something with a death, a big death. But who could they kill? I mean, who would be big? They already killed Jesus. That was crazy. So, Cameron Sigler, you can get a shout out. I mean, I'm not going to say, I don't know what other channels do. I'm not going to say you have to donate to get a shout out. But, you know, I mean, as anything, guys, donations, super chats, Patreon donations, anything like that too, they're always welcome. They're not necessary by any means, but, you know, I give some shout outs on there too. But you can give some love. If we give some love, you can reciprocate it a little bit, you know. But my money is on Carol getting the chop, Legion Reed. Well, I'm going to say no because Melissa McBride is awesome. And people don't realize how important Melissa McBride is to the show. Carol's done a lot of big things. Melissa McBride was given the role of Carol. She didn't even have to audition. She was given the role from Frank Darabont. And I think she's awesome. I think she's one of the best. But I think that we got Melissa McBride being a big important person for a long time. Carol, Daryl, and Michonne. I'm not sure if Michonne signed her 3-year deal. Hopefully she did. Or maybe they're still going on the contracts. I'm not sure about that, Boyd. Michonne is one of the best characters of the show. Daryl, Carol, Michonne can carry the show minus Rick. Throw Maggie in there too. Ezekiel, Jerry. The show can continue on for a long time. Episodes 906, 907, and 908 were very good. There's no Rick inside. There's no Rick coming back. So I think it can be great. You know how it is too. So yeah, Tudor, Norman Reedus auditioned for Merle Dixon. And he didn't get that part. They already had Michael Rooker for it. But they love Norman so much that they put the part in as the Dixon brothers. Daryl was supposed to die pretty early on, but then he turned into a great thing. So I think that it's one of the best things they could have done is to have the Daryl Dixon character, 1, be on the show, and 2, be on the show for as long as he is and be the part of it there too. Mark, that's a great point. Isn't the windmill up for 3 years, Bri? Well, I think it's a year now, like in April, or when did it actually go up? I can't remember. So it was 1 year from the past filming. So that's a year and then 2 more years. So it'd be season 10, 11, and 12. So the windmill will probably be up probably in the rest of The Walking Dead's life. The series run will have the windmill up too. So I think that's what it is. Slizzle, 2290. Q&A, do you think King Ezekiel has been overshadowed by role characters like Jerry, Rosita, Tara, and Eugene? Well, Ezekiel had a big role in season 7. Season 8, it was a little bit here, a little bit there. But I think he had a pretty big run in season 7 and season 8. Season 9, he hasn't had the biggest run, but he's been around. He's been connected with Carol. But I wouldn't say it's because of Jerry, Rosita, Tara, or Eugene. Eugene's a big character. Tara has kind of had a little more role than I would like, than a lot of people would like. Jerry is, you know, a character that we all love. I love Jerry. And Rosita is a character that's a big character too. I wonder how Tara's going to take the fact that Jesus was killed, because Jesus went out and Tara said he was supposed to go. Tara was like, I'll go out. But Jesus was like, no, I'm going to go. You don't know Aaron. It was like, so between the two, it was supposed to be Tara or Jesus who went out on the run, and Tara stayed back and Jesus was there too. So I'm just some guy, not even the king. Ezekiel is just a regular guy. Cameron Sigler, do you think they will have Michonne kill Daryl at the Commonwealth? I don't hope not. I don't want to see anybody Team Family kill Team Family. The last time we really saw that was Rick and Shane, and I don't want to see that again, especially Daryl or Michonne. I don't want them to fight. I don't want to see any of that stuff go down like that. That's just not... I want family to be there and have each other's backs. You know, that's my storytelling, and that's what I want to watch, and that's what I'm all about. So I'm excited for that too. So if you want to donate, there's probably a super chat tab somewhere on your chat going on here, and you can just hit that super chat and then how much your denomination is for that. Also, if you want the Patreon page, do I have that here? Now I got my books. I got my mystery books. What happened here? The links. I don't know. I should have it. Yeah, the Facebook page. I don't have the Patreon page in here. I got to put that on here. I have a Patreon page, PT channel. I actually put it on Facebook before I made this too. So you can always do that to donate as well. But it goes a long way. Even $1, couple bucks here and there goes a long way, and I'm sure keeps the channel going and growing. And if enough people do it, we can continue this channel for a long time. It would be pretty awesome too. So Cameron, my friend wants Daryl to die on the Pikes. Why? Daryl's awesome. Q&A, what if Daryl gets Dwight's comic death at the end of the show by someone at the Commonwealth? Yeah, that's a big question. That's what a lot of people were worried about, because I got the idea of that to make a video, and I talk about it. People are worried about Daryl. Should people be worried about Daryl? But I think Daryl is going to be the last man standing, and he won't be killed that way. I get the Commonwealth. Glenn, they should release the new trailer during the Super Bowl. That would be amazing. Well, I doubt AMC is going to put that much money into a trailer for that. They could do a halftime show on AMC and say, come to AMC during the halftime show for the trailer. That would be pretty cool, because I think it's Maroon 5 is performing this Super Bowl halftime, which I'm okay with that. I don't really like them or dislike them. They're okay. But I would like to see another trailer. I want to see another Game of Thrones trailer. I think that would be kind of interesting. Slizzle2290, Q&A. Did Angela Kang get rid of the guts trick in anticipation of the whispers to prevent redundancy? Well, they haven't really had to have the guts trick. They haven't really had to do that because they've taken down the walkers pretty good, and life has been pretty good. Kumbaya for the past year and a half to the bridge and all that stuff. So it's been pretty good. There hasn't really been a threat for anybody, so they haven't really had to do the walker guts thing. So, but I can see what you're saying. The walker guts were around, and then the whisperers thing for sure too. So, but go for about another 10 minutes, guys, to talk about that. And I'm probably not even going to watch the two football games today. I just want to see who's going to be in the Super Bowl. I'm fine with the Saints or the Rams, but I would like the Chiefs to play the Saints or the Rams in the Super Bowl. But I would definitely want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, because that'd be pretty awesome. I'm hoping that happens. And I know we're going to be getting some bad weather, and maybe it's already here where you're living, where you're at, where you're in, if you're in the States or in that part of the country. So be safe, hunker down, bundle up, get some food, and just watch some Walking Dead on Netflix or something. Watch The Punisher, could watch that. Or something on there too. Tutor Q&A, you think the Dixon brothers are the butterfly effect of the show, since Rick locking Merle, changing the show into a different timeline universe comparing to the comics? I can see what you're going with there. I'm not sure if the show really is doing something like that. I just think something comes around full circle, little flashbacks, callbacks, and Easter eggs and connections. But I don't know. There could be some little nuance of the writers that they do. I mean, writers do some crazy stuff. But I just think stuff works out because of the cast that they have and the writers that they have. And a lot of it is because of Michonne, Rick, Daryl, Carol, Maggie. Some big actors, some big parts, some big characters for sure, too. Boyd's got 2 feet of snow in central New York. I'm not a big fan of snow too much. It's nice to visit and check out, but I like to travel and not... I'm from New Jersey originally, so I know about snow and ice and bad weather and sliding, and people got in bad accidents and stuff has craziness with the ice. So be careful out there too. Safety first and always. Nothing too crazy. Big sexy Q&A. If I lose 30 to 50 pounds, will I feel better? yes and no. Losing weight, extra weight, excess weight is good for your joints and your hips and your knees and your ankles. It also should take, stress off your heart to work harder on there too. With a name like Big Sexy, I'm sure you're a big guy, my man, but it's going to be, is it the end all be all? I don't think it's just 30 to 50 pounds. It should be lifestyle changes. It should be, exercise and diet, but it's mostly diet. Diet plans go a big way for it. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to diet for like a week or a month and I'm going to, not eat carbs. And then you're like, I want a cake. I'm going to eat a whole cake. And you're like, well, let's cut it down. Cheat days, certain days here, diet changes, fruits and vegetables and different things can be a big thing for the rest of your days. The Walking Dead Game Freak Q&A. What is your favorite episode so far? My favorite episode is episode 609. It's just the episode I can watch over and over and over again and never get tired. It's just so action-packed and a lot of big stuff, and it's just so great, episode 609. Yeah, right now it's a little cold weather here. It's not too cold. It's not bitterly cold. It's going to cool down tonight and into tomorrow. But I was working in the yard and doing some crazy stuff. But I also wanted to represent my Punisher beanie here. I love this beanie. Janet Person Q&A. Brian, what if a weird turn of events, Enid is pregnant with Alden's baby? She could take Rosita's death. That could. I mean, I think you really want Enid to die, or you just think Enid's going to die, Janet. That's a couple of questions now about Enid dying. But I think Enid can be on the show for a while. Enid is, the show's comic version of Sophia. Comic Sophia is still alive. Sophia died on the show. Enid really replaced her. So she stayed alive. But if Henry is supposed to replace Carl and Henry's going to die, I mean, I don't know. But Henry's connected with Carol, and Carol's kids don't really work out well. But we'll see what happens with that. Jackson Samuel. I don't think Enid's the worst character. I think the worst character was like Lori. Andrea was pretty bad. Jared was pretty bad. But of the characters today, I don't know. That's a good question. Who's the worst character of the characters still alive on the show? That's tough. I don't know. That's just a matter of opinion, I guess, right? 25 degrees in Missouri there, Mark. That sounds great. Q&A, Gabriel is say. I don't know what you mean by Gabriel, but I don't mind Gabriel. Gabriel's okay. He's done some good things, some bad things. But I don't know. I'd have to think about who's the worst character. Henry? I don't know. A lot of Taras, a lot of Henrys on there. Negan. Tammy Rose is so annoying. Yeah, Tammy's a little much. But I just feel, Tammy's going to be in the Pike lineup. I just feel they kind of highlighted certain characters. And Tammy's and Earl. Tammy's with Earl. Tammy lost her son. So it's kind of like, I just think it's one of those things where we're going to see some big losses. Maybe there won't be losses. Maybe some of the characters are like, oh, I'm glad that person's part of the lineup. SAT Gaming. Hello, Brian people. PT Peeps. So I got some more videos in the lineup on my mind. Going to be doing some more. I don't know. I kind of think it's comedy. Some people are like, that's not funny. But I think like getting to know PT will be the segments. Sit down comedy. Even though some of the comedy has to be me standing for some of the mechanisms of comedy for the physical comedy. I just think that would be kind of good. But getting to know PT is a good thing that I like to talk about. And some people like it. Some people don't. And I find it interesting that, you can tell by people not watching it and views when I talk about something that's not Walking Dead related. I just don't understand why people get so offended by like, just make Walking Dead videos. Well, that's not my life. That's not how I do things. I like to talk about other things, and this is an entertainment channel, and I like to talk about other stuff too. I like to talk about movies, some entertainment things, fitness, working out, health stuff. But also, I love The Walking Dead, so that's going to be a big part of it for sure. But it's like, why wouldn't people really... Game of Thrones, that's going to be huge. And I love talking about that stuff. Twin on Tour J, Q&A. Wouldn't it be great if they found a stockpile of weapons? Anti-AI. I think they could find some weapons. I think that Eugene will eventually go back to the bullet factory and to make some more bullets, because that's kind of interesting. Because where has that been, right? Your boy Odom, Q&A, you watch Rick and Morty? I haven't really watched Rick and Morty, even though I got a bunch of stickers and stuff. I'm trying to put them in boxes and stuff for mystery boxes. But Rick and Morty is something I know people love. I'm not a really big fan. Right, Eric, right. Variety is better. Variety is better. Exactly. And I love talking about everything as well, too. Sheila, am I bringing a bathing suit on the cruise, you think, or too cold? I would. I mean, because we're going to leave out of Tampa, and then we're going to go around to the Bahamas. And if you're going to go to Atlantis or wherever you're going to do in the Bahamas and Nassau, they got a water park there. They got an aquarium. It could be hot. I don't know. I don't really go in the pool too much on the boat. It's not really the biggest pool, and they got jacuzzis and stuff. But I probably won't really be in bathing suit style too. But I think it could be. Hopefully, it's warmer. I know here in Tampa in a month it'll probably warm up, and then as the further south we go, it'll be warmer for sure. But when I'm on the cruise, I'm trying to get panels. I'm getting a picture with, like I said, I'm going to get a picture with Jerry and Ezekiel, and then I'm getting a picture with Judith, and trying to go see some celebs and the different panels and watch some movies and do this too. It's just kind of interesting. Boyd, Rosita would not be on the cruise. She was on the first cruise, and we didn't even see her. I didn't even see her at all. So, they do now. They bring all the cast members on stage for a group photo. The first cruise, it was just Norman and Greg Nicotero, and then they brought everybody on stage because you got to see them too. Because if you don't go to their panel or get a picture with them or do a meet and greet or sign up for something, you're not going to see some of these cast members too. And this is the fourth and final cruise. I'm excited. Hopefully they give something for the quad squad, the four-timers. And I would love to get something personalized by them too, even though we're going to get a Norman Reedus autograph as that because he canceled and he's going to sign a headshot, he said. So everybody on the cruise is going to get a Norman Reedus autograph, even though I have one from the first Walker Stalker cruise. But it's pretty cool. So I'll get a couple more questions here. Thank you, I in the Dark too. Ted, enjoy your channel. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. I think I'm a little funny. I think I'm just having good outlook and a good spin on things too. Janet, Brian, how will Earl react to Tammy's death? Will he completely lose it and take his own life, or step up and fight the Whisperers? I don't know. That's a great question. I don't think he's going to handle it well, but it's what the writers want to do. I could see him start drinking again, and maybe he wants to fight the Whisperers, and then he gets taken out. I would think that's too. I think that's what it is. Gamma, the weather in Tampa right now is windy. It's colder. I wouldn't say it's cold because some of you guys are talking about really cold weather, but I think it's a high of like 60 today, and then at night it's going to be in the 40s, but the wind chill, the sun's not out, so it's really gloomy and dark, and it was raining earlier, and I was trying to put this thing with the drain outside, and it was cool. It was wet before I got here doing this, so it was just kind of crazy. So Tudor, Q&A, you think Daryl will make a reveal to Michonne that Merle was in the Army, that he can help since he showed in the past that he got knowledge? Well, I don't know if it's going to come around. I think he's going to have to come up with some plan. We talked about this in the live stream before, that I really hope Maggie comes around and saves the day during the Whisperer War, because if Maggie's coming back on the season 10, that's probably going to be the Whisperer War. Then that's going to be some big events. And I think Maggie's going to bring some people in. Maybe there's a chance for a new character on there too. Maybe someone from the community can come help her save the day. That would be pretty cool. So, yeah, Sheila, I think it's a good thing for the cruise. I think it's an awesome thing. And I know that to go on 4 cruises with the same company 4 years in a row, all 4 Walker Stalker cruises, I think they got to give us something, you know. And I don't even want anything big. I know they give you a bottle of champagne if you're a prior guest on there too, and I think it'd be pretty cool. So to be on the cruise would be a fun time, and I'm excited to hopefully someone to meet you guys. I know some of the people in here will be going on the cruise, and I'll probably be somewhere recording, or my wife and I will be out and about, so it'll be a good time for sure. So what you guys got for here? Bri, have you seen the YouTube channel Star Wars Theories Vader's fan film yet? I haven't seen it, but I know that was on Facebook and a couple places. I know they have him. It's in like when Anakin gets basically tore up by Obi-Wan, that I know he's kind of there, and I haven't seen it. I got to definitely check it out. I did see a while ago the Power Rangers fan film. That was like way better than the movie that came out. And I'm like, man, they got to make this. They got to make like a badass Power Rangers thing. And I would love to think about it, talk about it too. I would love for them to remake not remake, I guess redo or kind of remaster it and put a little twist on it with some new people. To have the X-Men cartoon from the 90s, have some new episodes of that. That'd be pretty awesome. Or like have the 90s, or yeah, I guess the 90s Saturday morning cartoons and stuff like that remastered for today. That would be pretty awesome. Or done in a way that it's new stuff. And because they don't really have that anymore. I don't know. I don't have any of that for sure. So, Brian Barbie, what do cruises usually cost per person? Well, depends what cruise. The cruise line on there too. Walker Stalker Cruise is very expensive because it's a specialty cruise and it's a shorter cruise on there too. But you can get certain cruises and, different prices. Check out Carnival, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean on there as well too. So, Northside Marco, have you seen Spider-Man Far From Home trailer? I've seen it. Thought it was pretty cool. I talk about it in the one Avengers video that I talk about. It's kind of one of those things that I'm like, wow, thinking about how Spider-Man is when this is. But they said it's after Avengers Endgame is when it takes place. So did they spill the beans? Did they do this? So it's kind of interesting. The Watchful and Harmonious subscriber, have you ever thought of doing a fan film? I want to do fan films, short movies, short clips. It's just tough for me to get to get zombies. Can't call them walkers because it's a different universe, but I call them zombies in the series. But I have to get zombies and stuff in there too, because if it's a zombie short film, short movie, short thing, you have to have a zombie in it. You can't have a zombie without... You can't have a zombie short film or a fan film about a zombie book without zombies, and that's the biggest thing right now too. So I got some weapons and I got some things I could use, but it's on there too. Hey, Deb S., how are you? Yeah, Sheila, see, it's expensive. So the Walker Stalker cruise, it's expensive, and it's a short amount of cruise too. If you went on a 5-day Caribbean cruise on Carnival or Norwegian or some other two that's not a specialty cruise, you could pay, if you had an interior room, basic room like that, you'd pay probably close to half on the right deals on there too. For sure. So, but on that note, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to end on that note because I got to get some stuff on my Sunday. Got to go clean, got to do some stuff around the house, be a homeowner. But thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends, tell your family. If you're interested in donating, we have a Patreon page. It's not on the video description. I got to put it on here, and I will. But it's on every video description. You can follow me on Facebook. I'm on TWD Community, a Facebook page and a group, at the PT Channel page on Facebook, on Instagram, all that stuff. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, and making those memories. See ya.